The text message was brief, too brief for what it contained. Parents' 40th anniversary party this Saturday, 6 p.m., formal attire, Rachel. I stared at my phone, reading it 3 times before the weight of those words settled in my chest. Our parents' 40th wedding anniversary. How had I not known? I scrolled through my recent calls with Mom and Dad. Nothing. No mention of any party, any celebration, any plans. My finger hovered over Rachel's name. We hadn't spoken much lately, but we were sisters. Surely this was just an oversight. "Hey, Rach," I said when she picked up. "Got your text. I didn't know about the party. What can I bring?" There was a pause, the kind of pause that makes your stomach drop. "Oh, Emma." Her voice carried that particular tone, the one she'd perfected over the years, equal parts pity and condescension. According to YouTube analytics, 99.6% of viewers are not subscribed. That's a huge number. By subscribing the channel that is completely free, you'll help support the channel and never miss fresh content. I thought Mom would have mentioned it to you by now. Mentioned what? Another pause. It's a family-only event. Immediate family. I laughed, though nothing was funny. Rachel, I am immediate family. I'm their daughter. You know what I mean. Her voice hardened slightly. Family who's actually present. Family who shows up. Look, it's complicated, okay? This is important to Mom and Dad, and we didn't want any tension. Tension? What tension? Emma, you moved to Seattle 3 years ago. You visit maybe twice a year. You missed Thanksgiving last year, and Christmas before that. You're always too busy with your career. She said career like it was a dirty word. Meanwhile, I'm here. I have Sunday dinners with them every week. I take Mom to her doctor's appointments. I help Dad with the yard work. I'm the one who's actually family to them now. My hand tightened around the phone. I moved for a job opportunity. You know that. And I call them every week. A phone call isn't the same as being here, Emma. Look, I have to go. We have a lot to plan. Maybe you can send a card or something. The line went dead. I sat there in my Seattle apartment, surrounded by the life I'd built, the corner office view, the awards on my wall, the evidence of every sacrifice I'd made to get here. Suddenly, it all felt hollow. I called my mother. "Hi, honey." Her voice was warm, familiar. "How are you?" "Mom, Rachel told me about the anniversary party." Silence. Then carefully, "Oh, she did? Why didn't you invite me?" "Emma, sweetheart, it's not that we didn't want you there. It's just, well, Rachel's been handling all the planning, and she thought it might be easier if we kept it small. You're so busy with work, and the flight is expensive." "I would have come, Mom. It's your 40th anniversary." "I know, honey, I know." She sounded tired. "But Rachel's right that you have been distant. And this party, it's really more for the family here, the people who are part of our daily lives. I'm your daughter." "Of course you are. We love you so much." But her voice carried an apologetic finality. The decision had been made. I wasn't invited to my own parents' anniversary party, and she was okay with that. After we hung up, I didn't cry. Instead, I felt something cold and sharp crystallize inside me. 3 years ago, I'd been offered a promotion, director of marketing at a major tech firm. It meant relocating to Seattle, but it was everything I'd worked for. Rachel had called me selfish, said I was abandoning the family, but Mom and Dad had encouraged me, told me to follow my dreams, said they were proud of me. Apparently, that pride had an expiration date. I looked at my calendar. I had exactly 5 days until Saturday. 5 days to show my family exactly who I was and what I was worth. I started making calls. The first call was to my assistant. Clear my schedule for the next 2 weeks. Family emergency. The second was to my friend Marcus, who worked in event planning. I need a miracle by Saturday. Money is no object. The third was to my Aunt Linda, my father's sister. Aunt Linda, did you know about Mom and Dad's anniversary party? No, when is it? Saturday. Rachel's throwing it. Small, intimate, family only. I let the bitterness seep through. Apparently, I'm not invited. What? That's absurd. You're their daughter. I know. Listen, I'm planning something. I need your help, and I need you to trust me. By Tuesday, I was on a plane to Phoenix. I didn't tell anyone I was coming. Instead, I checked into a hotel and met with Marcus's local contact, a woman named Valentina who specialized in statement events. So let me get this straight, Valentina said, reviewing her notes. Your sister is throwing a party for your parents' 40th anniversary at the Riverside Country Club on Saturday. About 50 guests, formal dinner, dancing, speeches. And you want to throw a better party at the same time? Not just better. I want to throw the party they actually deserve. My parents always talked about renewing their vows in the place they got married, the Botanical Gardens. My father proposed to my mother under the rose arbor there. It's been their special place for 40 years. But Rachel chose the country club because it's where she got married, where she's a member. It's about her, not them. Valentina's eyes gleamed. I love it. Give me their love story. I did. I told her how my parents met in college, both working part-time at a bookstore. How Dad proposed during a rainstorm because he couldn't wait for the perfect moment. How Mom wore a simple dress she made herself because they couldn't afford much, but she said it was the happiest day of her life. How they'd weathered layoffs, medical scares, raising 2 daughters, and 40 years of life's chaos together. They deserve something meaningful, I said. Not just an expensive party, something that honors them. By Wednesday, I had secured the Botanical Gardens for Saturday evening, the same evening as Rachel's party. By Thursday, I had contacted every single guest on Rachel's list. I'd gotten it from Aunt Linda, who'd gotten it from my uncle, who'd gotten it from my father's best friend. I sent elegant invitations to each person, personally addressed, explaining that I was hosting a vow renewal ceremony and celebration for my parents at the Botanical Gardens. Same night, 1 hour earlier. You're invited to witness Robert and Helen Chen renew their vows at the place where their love story began. Let's honor 40 years of partnership with an evening of memories, music, and meaning. The ceremony will be followed by dinner and dancing under the stars. Your presence would mean everything to them and to me. Love, Emma. I included a handwritten note in each one. Many of these people had known me since childhood. They'd watched me grow up. I reminded them of that connection, made it personal. By Friday morning, I had RSVPs from 43 of the 50 guests, including my parents' closest friends, my father's siblings, my mother's best friend from college, and virtually every important person in their lives. I didn't invite Rachel. Friday afternoon, I went to see my parents. Mom opened the door, shocked. Emma, what are you doing here? I thought... Surprise! I hugged her. She felt smaller than I remembered. When had she gotten so small? Dad came around the corner. Emma, sweetheart! His embrace was tighter, longer. I couldn't miss your anniversary, I said simply, even if I wasn't invited to the party. Mom's face fell. Honey, I explained. It's okay, Mom. Really? Actually, I have something I want to show you both. Can you come with me tomorrow, around 4 p.m.? I have a surprise. They exchanged glances. But Rachel's party? Trust me, please. Just this once, trust me. Something in my voice made them agree. Saturday evening, 4 p.m. I pulled up to my parents' house in a limousine. Emma, what's all this? Dad asked, bewildered. Your chariot awaits. I grinned. Just go with it. I'd arranged for them to get ready at the hotel. Mom in a stunning silver gown I'd selected, a far cry from the dress Rachel had apparently picked out for her. Dad in a perfectly tailored suit. I'd hired a stylist for Mom's hair and makeup. When she looked at herself in the mirror, tears streamed down her face. "Emma, this is too much." "Mom, you gave me life. You supported every dream I ever had. This isn't too much. It's not even enough." At 5:30 p.m., we arrived at the Botanical Gardens. The sun was beginning its descent, casting golden light through the trees. The rose arbor where Dad had proposed had been decorated with white flowers and tiny lights that would glow as evening fell. Chairs were arranged in a semicircle facing it. A string quartet was playing softly, and standing there, waiting, were dozens of people. My parents' faces went from confusion to shock to overwhelming emotion. "Emma, what is this?" Mom whispered. "This is your real anniversary party, the one you deserved." Aunt Linda rushed forward, embracing them both. "Emma called me. She told me everything. We wouldn't miss this for the world." One by one, people came forward. Dad's college roommate, who'd been his best man. Mom's cousin from California. Their neighbors of 20 years. The couple who'd been their accountability partners at church. All the people who'd been invited to Rachel's party, but chose to come here instead. "I don't understand," Dad said, looking at me. "What about Rachel's party?" "That's still happening," I said quietly. "At the country club, but I thought you deserved to renew your vows at the place where it all began, where you promised forever to each other the first time." Mom's hand flew to her mouth. "Renew our vows? If you want to. I have an efficient waiting, but if you'd rather just have a party, yes." Dad's voice was thick with emotion. "Yes, we want to." The ceremony was simple and perfect. They stood under the arbor where Dad had proposed 40 years ago and repeated the same vows they'd made as broke college students with nothing but love and hope. The string quartet played their wedding song. Mom cried, Dad cried, I cried, everyone cried. Afterward, we moved to the pavilion for dinner. I'd hired a caterer who specialized in Chinese-American fusion, honoring both sides of their heritage. The centerpieces were framed photos from throughout their 40 years together, which I'd collected and scanned over the past week. Each table had a different era, their wedding, their young family years, Rachel and me growing up, their later years as empty nesters. I'd set up a video screen and spent the week collecting video messages from people who couldn't attend, including my parents' childhood friends, distant relatives, and even Mom's high school English teacher who'd inspired her love of literature. As the sun set and the lights twinkled to life, people danced and laughed and shared stories. My father's best friend told the story of how Dad had practiced his proposal for a week. Mom's college roommate revealed that Mom had sketched wedding dresses in her notebook months before Dad even proposed. "She knew," the roommate laughed. "She told me, that's the man I'm going to marry," after their second date. At 7:30 p.m., my phone buzzed. "Rachel, where is everyone? The party started an hour ago, and there are only 7 people here. What did you do?" I stepped away from the party to call her back. "Hello, Rachel." "Emma, are you in town? Did you do this? Did you steal my party?" "I didn't steal anything. I threw Mom and Dad a party that actually honored them. You're welcome to join us at the Botanical Gardens. We're all here, Mom, Dad, and everyone who actually cares about celebrating their marriage." "You're at the Botanical Gardens?" "Emma, I spent months planning this party. I booked the country club, I ordered flowers, hired a band, arranged catering for 50 people. Then I guess you'll have plenty of leftovers." My voice was ice. "You told me I wasn't family because I wasn't present enough. You excluded me from our parents' milestone anniversary because I chose a career over staying in Phoenix. Well, guess what? I showed up. Not just physically, but in the way that actually matters. I listened to what Mom and Dad would truly want. I honored their love story. I brought together the people who care about them, including me. You're so selfish. This is about you getting revenge on me. No, Rachel. If this was about revenge, I would have done so much worse. This is about Mom and Dad. This is about showing them that distance doesn't diminish love, and presence isn't just about proximity. I'm sorry your party didn't work out, but maybe next time you should consider who the party is actually for. I hung up. 15 minutes later, Rachel's car screeched into the parking lot. She stormed toward the pavilion in her formal gown, her husband trailing behind, looking deeply uncomfortable. The music stopped. Everyone turned. Rachel's face was red, her eyes blazing. "Mom, Dad, we need to go. I have a party set up for you at the country club. There's a band, there's food." "Rachel." Dad's voice was quiet but firm. "We're staying here. But I know what you planned, sweetheart, and I'm sure it's lovely. But this—" He gestured around the garden, at the arbor, at the gathered friends and family, at the photos documenting their life together. "This is us. This is our story. Emma gave us something we didn't even know we needed." Mom walked over to Rachel. "Honey, I know you worked hard on your party, but Emma worked hard on understanding what we would truly want. The botanical gardens, the vow renewal, the people who've been part of our journey." She paused. "Why didn't you invite your sister?" Rachel's eyes filled with tears. "Because I'm the one who's here. I'm the one who takes care of you. I'm the one who—" Her voice broke. "I wanted one thing that was mine. One way to show you that I matter, that my presence matters, that staying here and building my life around you wasn't a mistake, while Emma got to be the successful one with the fancy career." The truth of it hung in the air. Mom cupped Rachel's face. "Oh, sweetheart, you don't have to prove anything. We love you. We've always loved you. But love isn't a competition. Emma's success doesn't diminish your importance to us, and her distance doesn't diminish her love." "But she left," Rachel whispered. "I pursued my dreams," I said, stepping forward. "The dreams you and Mom and Dad encouraged me to chase. I didn't leave because I didn't love you. I left because I needed to find out who I could become. But I'm still your sister. I'm still their daughter. And I'm sorry if my choices hurt you, but excluding me, telling me I'm not family, that hurt me too." Rachel looked at me, really looked at me, for the first time in years. "I was jealous," she admitted. "You got out. You built something. And I stayed, and it felt like I was just the one who didn't leave, not the one who chose to stay." "You chose to stay," I said firmly. "That's not less than. It's just different. And Mom and Dad need you. The weekly dinners, the doctor's appointments, the daily presence. I can't do that from Seattle, but that doesn't mean I love them less. It means we love them differently." Dad cleared his throat. "Girls, you're both important to us. You always have been. Emma, your ambition and drive make us proud. Rachel, your devotion and care make us grateful. We love you both. We need you both." Rachel wiped her eyes, smudging her carefully applied makeup. "I'm sorry I excluded you. I'm sorry I said you weren't family. I'm sorry I didn't realize how my distance affected you," I said. "I thought calling once a week was enough. I didn't understand that you were carrying the weight of their care alone." Mom reached out, pulling us both into a hug. "My girls, my beautiful girls. You're both exactly who you're supposed to be." The tension broke. Rachel laughed through her tears. "I can't believe you pulled off a better party in 5 days than I planned in 3 months." "I had motivation," I admitted, "and spite is an excellent accelerant." "How much did you spend on this?" Let's not talk about that. Rachel shook her head, a real smile finally breaking through. You always were extra. Says the woman who booked the country club and hired a 14-piece band. Fair point. The band I'd hired started playing again, a mix of old standards and contemporary songs. Dad asked Mom to dance. Rachel's husband wisely pulled her onto the dance floor. Aunt Linda grabbed my hand. That was quite something, she said. I probably overreacted. Honey, you threw your parents a vow renewal ceremony in the place where they got engaged, reunited them with loved ones, and created a beautiful evening honoring their 40-year marriage. If that's overreacting, the world needs more overreactions. As the evening continued, Rachel and I found ourselves standing together at the edge of the pavilion, watching our parents dance under the lights. I really am sorry, Rachel said quietly. I was wrong to exclude you, and wrong about what I said. You are family. You've always been family. I'm going to try to come home more, I said. Maybe once a month. I can work remotely sometimes, and I want to help more with Mom and Dad. I know it's been a lot on you. Once a month would be good, she paused, and maybe I can come visit you in Seattle sometimes. See your life there, meet your friends, understand that part of you. I'd like that. We stood in comfortable silence for a moment. You know, Rachel said, there's a 14-piece band at the country club with no one to play for and catering for 50 people. That seems wasteful. It does, she grinned. Want to raid my party? Oh, absolutely. An hour later, we'd shuttled half the guests over to the country club for round 2. The band was excellent. The food was indeed impressive, and having 2 parties turned out to be better than one. At midnight, exhausted and happy, my parents stood between Rachel and me. Best anniversary ever, Dad declared. Even with the drama? I asked. Especially with the drama, Mom laughed. What's a family gathering without a little chaos? This is real. This is us, messy and complicated and ultimately full of love. Rachel squeezed my hand. Thank you for coming home. Thank you for letting me in. So, Dad said with a twinkle in his eye, what are you two going to do for our 50th? Rachel and I looked at each other and said in unison, plan together. 3 months later, I was back in Phoenix for Thanksgiving. I'd blocked out the entire week, working remotely from my parents' house. Rachel came over for dinner on Tuesday, and we cooked together, something we hadn't done since we were teenagers. I've been thinking, Rachel said, chopping onions. I've been so focused on being the daughter who stayed that I never really built my own identity outside of that. I think I need to. What do you mean? I mean, I've been taking some online courses, business management. I'm thinking of starting my own consulting firm, helping families navigate caregiving for aging parents. Something that uses my experience, but is mine. Rachel, that's incredible. Yeah, well, my little sister showed me that you can care about family and still have your own ambitions. She smiled. They're not mutually exclusive. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you too. I'm sorry it took me so long to say it. That evening, sitting around the table with my parents and Rachel's family, I realized something important. Family wasn't about geography or who showed up most often or who made the biggest sacrifices. Family was about showing up in the ways that mattered, about seeing each other clearly, about loving through the hard conversations and the hurt feelings and the misunderstandings. Mom raised her glass. To family, all of us, however near or far. To family, we echoed. And for the first time in a long time, I felt fully seen, fully known, and fully home. Later, as I was leaving, Rachel walked me to my car. Hey, she said, I never told you. The revenge party? Spectacular. 10 out of 10. Would watch you destroy me again. I laughed. It wasn't revenge, not really. Oh, it absolutely was. But it was also love. You can be both, I think. Angry and hurt, but still fighting for the relationship. That's family, too. She was right. Sometimes love looked like grand gestures and vow renewals under the stars. Sometimes it looked like showing up week after week for Sunday dinners. Sometimes it looked like calling someone out when they hurt you, then extending forgiveness when they apologize. Sometimes love looked like refusing to be excluded, insisting on your place at the table, and proving through actions that distance doesn't diminish devotion. My sister had said, only for family, when she didn't invite me to my parents' anniversary party. So I showed all of them, exactly what family means. And in doing so, I got my family back.